Hello, hello. Mike here from Health and Wealth. Thank you so much for joining. Today, I am talking about ULTY. It is Thursday, and the season continues. I think we missed an episode last week. This is ULTY season number 2, episode number 7, where we've talked about my journey with ULTY since July. That's when I bought into the fund. It's been what we can call it as a rocky road so far. They're doing what they promised they've been doing, which is paying me an income every single week, but the share price has come dramatically down and lowered, and so has the distribution followed suit. We're coming up on a 1 for 10 reverse split. 10 for 1 reverse split. I always get those two mixed up. Pretty sure I'm dyslexic. I've never been tested, but I think I might be. 10 for 1 reverse split, which means if you had 1,000 shares after this reverse split happens, you have 100 shares. But let's say let's say the share price is $4 for ULTY. Well, after that reverse split, then the share price would be $40. Okay, so you would have less shares, but the share dollar amount, like physical amount of the physical dollar cost of the share would go up 10 times, right? To $40. But when we talk about math, if you take a big circle and you had a big circle before, you still have the same amount of circle whenever the reverse split happens. Now, what happened with TSLY when it did that is they didn't change their strategy at all. And since they did their reverse split way back a year and a half ago, yeah, March of like a year ago, they didn't change their strategy. So the share price came back down to where it was before, and the distributions came down as well. ULTY appears to be changing their strategy to make it so that doesn't happen again. We will see if this is going to fix it or not. I want to talk about that in this video today. Thank you so much for joining me, by the way. 10,600 subscribers, pretty incredible. If you're new here or not new here, I would appreciate you hit that subscribe button so that we can get that number up there. Hit the like. More people like you and me get to watch these videos. And I know that ULTY's got the heat on them right now. Max has the heat on them as well. I'll kind of explain quickly what I'm doing. I was dripping into it until maybe 3 weeks ago. And then I took the drip off, and I've gone ahead and now I'm just taking the income, and got kind of a new strategy for me. What I've been doing for about 3 months now is taking $500 worth of margin and buying the stock or the ETF I want. So for 2 months, I bought Alti with it. And then I just paid that back with the distributions as quickly as possible. It usually took about 3 weeks to pay that back. Now what I've done is I've taken $250, 250. That's it, and I'm buying a fund called HHIS with the 250. And then I get paid a distribution from Alti Coney Miss, or not Coney anymore, Alti Missy Navidi Hui. And so I take half of that distribution, I pay back the margin. The other half is sitting in cash, and I've started my cash secured put, my wheel, my options play. So far, it's worked out really well, 1 for 1 on the options play. But that's not what this video is about. We're talking about Alti. I want to talk about all of the positions, the change they've made so far in their fund, and we're gonna see if it works out for them. It's definitely a big change for sure. And again, I understand that you may or may not like Alti. It has a purpose. Its purpose is to deliver distributions all the time. And so by delivering a distribution as heavy as they have, that might be part of a reason why the share price is coming down. The other reason is because they were writing options on just absolute wildcat companies, high volatility, low return in value of those stocks, and it didn't really work out for them. It worked out because we got a distribution, but our share price kept going down and down. So I feel like they may have fixed it just a little bit, and we'll find out over time here. But I mean, my strategy is I'm going to keep the 1,023 shares that I have, which will turn into what, like 1,002 share or 102 shares once the reverse split happens. And I'm just going to continue to get that distribution, that income. Eventually, it'll pay back my original capital into the fund, which now could take a lot longer than I thought I was going to. But they've made some massive changes. Let's go over those changes together here. First things first is here's the share price today, $4. By the way, you right there. Happy Thanksgiving, America. Hope you're having a great day. If you're watching this, I hope you're eating some turkey today, stuffing, mashed potatoes, all of the good stuff. Send some my way. We had our Thanksgiving a few weeks ago, about a month and a week ago. It was delicious. I still remember it. And we got less than a month to go to Christmas for more turkey time over here as well. But, anyways, back on track. $4 share price. Not good. I mean, if we look at this thing over the last year, it's down 60% share price. If we look at it from the big change on March the 12th, which was here till now, down 38%. So half of that, basically, right? Um, it's just been kind of a slow, steady decline in share price. If you got into this thing in April, till now, you're down 38%. Did I do that right? I didn't. Let me do April till now. 26% in price here. Um, but yeah, I mean, you're getting a distribution that entire time. So here's my form. We'll go over my stuff first, and then we'll go over all of the ULTY stuff second here. So there's my total value in ULTY, $5,692.47 equals 1,023 shares. There's my average cost, $5.67. I started buying into this fund right around $6.30. And I was dripping into it, drip, drip, drip for a few months. I mean, I've only had this position since July. Current price is $4, and if I was still dripping, I don't know how many shares that the latest distribution 5 cents would have bought me. I mean, we can easily do the math here, but um, at at the time of me stopping the drip, it was buying me 14 shares every week. Its current market value here, you can see these three numbers, right? Current market value is $4,092. So my 1,023 shares, um, with the current price is $4,092, which means I have an unrealized loss of $1,600. So really, I do have a goal of at least building that up here. So hopefully the bleeding stops with the share price over here. With their latest changes, we'll find out in the next few months here. Usually after Christmas, we have that decline with tax harvesting, things like that. So we'll find out this year what happens, right? So total distributions I've received so far in US dollars is $1,054. Not too bad. What's that, like 17%, something like that return since July? Not too bad at all. And again, I haven't sold these shares yet. Who knows? Maybe one day if this thing continues to tank downwards, maybe I will. But 73% to my original target of 1,400 shares. I won't be buying anymore at this rate. And, I'm kind of priced out once it goes for that reverse split as well, because it's going to go from 4 to 40. And I don't really want to buy into a fund that's $40 personally. I have other things that I'll invest my money in. But here's the AUM. I started tracking on July 31st. You can see it went all the way up to $3.44 billion at one point, and now it's sunk all the way down to $1.39 billion. You, the investors, have spoke. You were not happy with your return. You were not happy with the performance of this fund, and you moved your money out of there. So, by the way, this is not stock advice, not ETF advice, not any kind of advice. Just sharing what I'm doing and looking at what I'm seeing in front of me. Right? Don't buy because I say I'm in it. Don't sell because I say things one way or the other. Do whatever you want. It's your money. You make money the way you want to make money. Everybody, right? There's the outstanding shares, 346,000 million, sorry, 425,000. So the fund's been looking kind of depressed lately. However, they definitely have made some changes, like I've said a few times here. I've got that information, by the way, from their website itself. I also scrolled down their latest distribution, sunk down. Kind of makes sense though with the share price going down as low as it has. Distribution 5 cents, and also with the amount of shares and the amount of people that are leaving the fund. So it kind of makes sense for sure. Now, next thing I want to do is I've opened up this Excel sheet, and I found this right on their website, a little bit lower there, finding all of their funds. I've sorted it here, and I've sorted it alphabetically, not by size or anything like that. But here is all of the different funds that they bought into. Before, they had a ton of crazy funds, a lot of funds that I'd never heard of before, but they were like super, super volatile, which brought in a lot of income. But with that insane volatility, decreased the share price quite a bit because those funds, those stocks would go down in value. And Yilmax owns a lot of these companies inside of Alti here. So now what they've done, time drum roll, the time for the big change is they've bought a lot of companies that are actually successful, a lot of companies that have had great years on the stock market. um, Out of this entire list, I mean, we're going to look at the whole list here together, but out of this entire list, most of the funds have had positive return over the last 12 months. It's been pretty impressive. Some of them I've never heard of before. You probably have, but I haven't heard of a few of them, like Alcoa Corp here. But you can see that they have 925,000 shares of it, and then they got their calls here. Now, I'm not here to go over every single one of their calls. Check out ETF Inspector to go over that information. But for me, I want to go over these companies, how successful they've been over the last year here, and I've got them all picked right here. So over the last year, Alcoa down 9% in share price. And remember, they're also picking stocks out there that are volatile still. So they're still going to generate income that way. But there's one, right? Alcoa. Next one on the list, ADI, Analog Devices, 145,000 shares of that. Let's go take a look at it over here. Um, Analog Devices. Look at this last year, okay? So up 18.76% in the last 6 months. You know, same, almost the exact same. Last month here, 6% it made, which is pretty good. So, what is the hope and the dream for me of this? I hope that these successful companies go ahead and raise the share price of Alti. All right, let's move on to the next company here. So that was the AA stock symbol. Next one's ADI, Analog Devices. Here you can see 145,000 shares of this right now. Then they have their calls and their puts and all of their stuff down below here. Let's go take a look and see how this is done over the last year. Um, Here it is right here. Is that right? Analog? Give me a second here. That is right. Okay, cool. Analog over the last 1 year, up 18% in share price. That's pretty good, right? Definitely good. Another good sign. Can it continue to go up in the next year? We're going to find out here. We're going to go a little bit quicker now. Let's go AVGO, which is going to be Broadcom. Now, this is a huge name on the market. AVGO over the last 1 year, up 148%. This thing has cooked. Can it continue to cook, or is it cooked? We're going to find out. Is it too late, or are they going to continue to do well? So remember, this is less volatile than what they were using before, but still, we're having share price appreciation. I just hope that they don't write their calls too close to the share price so that we can actually get some upside here. I mean, if that was the share price that they bought it at, just as an example, 397, and they wrote a call at 410, then we have some upside potential there if that continues to go up. Next, we have American Express, or AXP. Let's take a look to see how well this one performed in the last year, up 19%. Another winner right here. So we're done with the losers. It looks like they're bringing in quality stocks that have done really well in the last year. And, you know, over the last month here, even this one's up still, even though the market has had a rough last month, which is pretty good to see. So far, so good. 3 for 3. There are a couple in here that are not that good. Coin actually is probably going to be one of them. We'll take a look. You can see here's their cash, just in case anything goes wrong. They can spend money to correct the issue. Next is Coin, or Coinbase here. Let's go take a look at Coin. Over the last year, down 14.8%. I think a lot of us that watch these videos know all about Coin and Coinbase. But I mean, again, very volatile. Next one here is going to be Circle. Circle's a relatively new fund in the high yield world. It is very volatile, that's for sure. Let's go take a look at Circle that I've got pulled up over here. So last year down 12%. So it's only been around for since June, right? So it's not been around very very long at all, but very volatile. And since it's come out down 12%. Where am I at here next? Let's go back over here. GDX. So this is the Vanek gold miner. And actually, I was pretty surprised by this one when I was pulling it up here. GDX right there, up 117% this year. Gold, right? I love gold. That's a keeper. Doing really, really well right now. Will that continue in the future? Nobody knows. Nobody can predict the future, right? Except for JP Morgan. They can, can't they? What do we got next? GLD, so more SPDR or SPDR, or can I call it Spider? Gold shares here. Let's go take a look at this one. Bum, 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 bum. GDL, wow, up 57% in the last year here. Cooking, right? So we see the trend. Everyone except for Coinbase so far and Circle have gone up in share price. Can this help us when it comes to our own share price of ULTY? Time will tell. Speaking of time, let's talk about Alphabet or Google. I remember I bought into Google sub 100 before they were going to do their actual split. It was going to be a 10 for 1 split. And I did have hopes and dreams of getting to 10 shares prior to their split. I guess it was around $1,000 at the time. And again, I was trying to get to 10 shares, which would have given me 100 shares so I could write my own cover calls. I never did, but that would have been a good one to hold on to for a long time. Google here doing really, really well over the last year, up 87%. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I bought in around 1,000. It was right around here ish that they did their split. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, they're doing really, really well over the last 5 years. That's for sure. Another winning stock. Let's talk about Robinhood here. Robinhood, or Hood is the share symbol. Let's go up top. Over the last year, up 240%. Can this continue its momentum? And I want to talk about Hui over at Yolmex, HOOY. If this thing falls off the map, Hui's going to fall off the map too. And actually, we did see that with Hui this past couple of weeks, right? Hui, my average cost is $69 on that thing, and it's now at $52, right? Because of this right here. So if Robinhood falls off the world's map here, then that's going to affect your ETF Hui. Just to be aware of that. Next, we have iBit, so iShares Bitcoin Trust. This is, I mean, they're banking on Bitcoin doing well. iBit itself over the last year down 7.27%. The last couple of weeks here, month, has really been a key contributor to that downswing, down 28%, since it's what looks like almost an all-time high there. Yeah, it is an all-time high. So, okay, now that Bitcoin is rising back up temporarily, at least, that should bring up that share price. That theor- theoretically, I can't say that word. The theory is that that should raise our price of ULTY as well. Next, we have IBM here. And again, it all depends how close they write these calls to the underlying stock. If they're writing the call right up against it, then we're not going to get a lot of upside on that particular stock. Next, we have IBM. And IBM here up 33% this year, or $303 stock right now. Pretty good. Eli Lilly, LLY. Let's take a look at it here. In the last year, no chart available. Can I refresh it? Down 0.5%. Wow. Okay. Well, that's in one day. Up 40% in the last year. It is cooking. That's for sure. Look at this right here from October 29th till now, up 35%. That is incredible. That is less than a month, up 35% share price. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Next is LRCX, Lam Research. take a look at this one. I don't know much about this one. Do you guys? Up 116% share price. So we catch the drift, don't we? Oh my goodness. Is this a good change or is it a bad change? You guys let me know what you think about it. Meta, a little bit of Facebook in your world, a little Instagram. Meta over the last year up 11%. You know, pretty high share price, that's for sure. Tough for like a retail investor like myself to get into that fund, but up 11% in the last 12 months. What do we have? MS Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley next, 27%. I mean, if we look at this thing over the last 5 years, up 163%. Pretty huge. Pretty huge for sure. PLTR, Palantir, last year up 150%. It was a year ago, October 11th of a year ago, PLTY came out. So I'd be interested to see how that did over the last year in total return. But PLTR absolutely demolished everything with 150%. Oh my goodness, so good. PWR, Quanta Services. I know some of you have heard of it. This guy has not. Oh my goodness, up 33%. Right? We've had ourselves a bull market. And when you're buying these like super volatile, not time tested companies that aren't profitable like they were doing with ULTY before, then that's part of the reason why the value of the shares are down so much, right? So now that they're buying these powerful companies that are just seemingly doing very well, I feel like that should help the share price. QQQ, like, does it get better than this? I don't know. QQQ over the last year, just steady, working its way up 21%. Like, that's a huge purchase. I'm a big fan of that purchase. SCCO, we're almost done here, actually. There's a lot of them, isn't there? 38%. Would you be happy with a share price raise of 38% in the last year? Heck yeah, you would. I definitely would. SMR, New Scale Power Corp. I've heard of that. Here's one of three so far that are down 32% in the last year. In the last 5 years, I mean, look at this. It had a huge raise here in March of 2024 until now up 451%. Oh my goodness. But in the last year, down 32%. New scale. All right, let's do a couple more here. SMR is what we just did. We got SoFi. I remember trading options on SoFi a couple of years ago when this thing was hovering around $8. But it's had a really good last couple of months here. SoFi in the last year up 76%. But I mean, if you look at the last 6 months, up 112% in share price. Oh my goodness, that's really good. This is on my radar for trading my own options with once I get the budget to do it. But I don't know. Do I trust that it's going to hang around this $28 mark? I mean, if we go back here, you can see it was hanging around the $4 to $9 range for a very long time. And I know people really love SoFi. So will it come back down there? Nobody knows. But who knows? Maybe, right? Could be a good one for me for my options down the road once I can afford uh, the wheel with that share price. TER, Teradyne. Personally, never heard of that one. Don't judge me. But look at this last year, up 65%. Crazy. It's good. Really good. Why is Teradyne up 3.1 since last earnings report? Serve Robotics versus Teradyne. Which robotics stock? Oh, it's a robotics stock. Interesting. We got like two more here. We have TMF Direction Daily 20-year plus Treasury Bull 3X shares. So leveraged TMX. Last year here, not doing so good compared to the rest of them, but down 13%. Over the last 6 months, though, up 14.87%. So a lot of that decline came from December of last year till now. December was really high up there, that's for sure. One more TWLO, Twilio. Boom. Twilio up 23%. So out of all of the funds that we just discussed, 4 or 5 of these have had a down year. The rest have had an extremely positive year, really good year in terms of their share price. My question is, how will this affect my share price on ULTY? Will they increase when they do the things like this? Is it going to increase my share price of ULTY? I think it will, but I guess it really depends on how well they trade their options, right? How well they trade their calls, how far out they put their puts to protect the downside, and how well they do all of that. I have one more screen to show you over here, and then we're gonna have a chat. This is my passive account, and so I want to go over to the last year here. So far this month, this is not including this week's distribution, but I'm at $951 in income. Alti paying $278. Last month, Alti paid me $591. Why? Because last month the income was a lot more than this month. Last month it was 6 cents, 7 cents, 8 cents, whereas this month we're down at the 6 cent, the 5 cent mark now, and so it's a lot lower than the month before. But once they do this reverse split and they implement all of these newer, better stocks, is that going to slow down the distribution just a little bit? I think it will, which is fine. If I can get some growth happening on the share price to kind of equal out this this loss right here, then I'd be happy with that personally. And then getting my distribution too, I'd be really happy with that. What do I intend to do with the money? So it's going to go 50-50, 50-50 to the margin, 50-50 to the cash for the options, and I'm going to start building up my options. I'm going to do a whole video on my options right now for another date, but here's my options. I've only done one so far. I sold a put for $15 on TSLL. The expiry date, or the strike price closing date, was going to be on November 28th. I ended up closing it 2 days ago for $6. That's including the commission, and that gave me a total profit of $38. Pretty good for a week and a half. And all I had to do was put up $1,500 to do it. The wheel is now wide open again. I can start over on Friday, which is tomorrow, right at 2 weeks out, and hope to make about $45 again on the next wheel with the strike price at a 20% delta. So far, so good. I know one day that it won't be so good because the market will go down, but for now, I'll collect my cash. I'll build up that margin, not the margin, I'll build up the cash for me trading options. And by the way, if you're from Canada, Questrade now lets you sell puts within your tax-free savings account or your RRSP. It's the only company on the market that allows it. I've put my link down below for Questrade. If you want to sign up, you and I both get $50. So that's going to be Alti this week. I'm personally not happy with the reverse split. It's like 50-50. I'm not happy with the reverse split just because I've seen what happened to Tesla. But I am really happy with the new companies they've picked. I feel, just my feelings, okay? You can't tell me I'm wrong. I feel like that is a step in the right direction to protect the money that I put into this fund. I also feel it's going to have lower distributions, but potential for a rise in the share price. We'll find out if that's what's going to happen or not coming up here. It all depends on how the market does and how they write their calls and puts. My name is Mike. Channel's name is Health and Wealth. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.